Greetings, everyone. To the person who sent this video and asked for a review on it, I just want to say a few things. I have a few videos on my channel with Renee, or advice I give her or her mom. And so it's sort of redundant at this point. But for some reason, when I started watching this live, it really affected me. It really affected me. And I'm going to say that there's so much trauma in our bodies, in our homes as Black people. And when I see families like the mom and daughter going back and forth at each other, I'm saying it has to stop. Okay? And on both sides, the people are upholding. So it's not that Renee doesn't have the right to express herself, but nothing she's expressing is new. It's all the old story. Okay, and for someone who has expressed difficulty in conceiving a child, I think at this point, Renee really should be protecting her energy and her baby. All this cussing on social media, all of this thing going on, Renee, are you aware that whatever you do or whatever is around you, your child hears that? So, though you're claiming that your mom is a terrible person and that you can't love her at the moment, please understand that you're doing harm to your own child. You're saying you're being a good mommy and you're going to be a great mother and a better mother than your mother. And hopefully that is true. But you're not being a good mother now, because if you understand the baby in the in vitro, then you'll understand the negative energy is passed on to that baby. That baby, and it's not speaking ill of this poor innocent child, will enter in the world with trauma. This is how we end up with trauma in the womb. So sometimes we hear people talk about this and we don't know the trauma the child inherits from inside the womb. I have three children and I had three different set of situation with all of those pregnancy, and it shows in their personality. When I was pregnant with my second child, I was at peace. Tranquility was my home. When I was pregnant with my third child, I was at ultimate peace. I felt safe. And you can see that in her personality. My last child would never ask to go to someone's home. She doesn't even want someone coming to her house. She just feels safe in her home where she's at. And she feels loved in her home. What we do while we're pregnant as women affects the unborn. If you read to your babies, they come out of the womb the same day they are born, they'll respond to your reading. So it is at this point that I think both Renee and her mom should find a way to find a person who's neutral to solve their situation, allow them both to speak their minds. But this is unhealthy. And even if they're doing it because they realize that the fans love the dirt, they love the drama, they love the disrespect. If these individuals were on their live really prophesying about the love of God and breakthroughs that they've had in their life, I guarantee you they would barely find anybody watching them. So the problem is not Renee or her mom. The problem is the people who are up for this kind of thing. And some of the persons that are listening will side with Renee because they have a lot of trauma and they have relationship problems with their parents. And those who are listening to the mom, is having difficulty with their own kids, so they can relate to these persons. But I'm saying it no look good. It doesn't look good. There's no justification for mom and daughter to be on the internet carrying on like that. Renee, I also hear you say that you encourage your mom to go to Jamaica and you would take care of her so she could look after her children. And I'm telling you, talking foolishness, Renee. Jamaica is rough. You've been there, you left. No, you can't just give up and go home and be like that. She's an older woman. She's not a doctor that can just go out there and become a doctor or something that makes great money. Teachers are running away from Jamaica. So you're really saying that because you told your mom she should go to Jamaica and take care of her sons, that it makes it right for her to do that. She has to use wisdom. She left Jamaica for a better life. She took you. Without her, you couldn't be in America. Saying all the things that you're saying about your mom. I'm not saying she's perfect. I'm not saying, that you guys can't work on your relationship or she can learn to be better here or there. We're all imperfect. But as a mother, if my child was on the internet doing that to me, it would break my heart. And I'm not saying that my children will not do that, because you can't swear for anybody. But I know how I would feel because I know how I love my children. And kids will come and say all kinds of things about you after you've given your all. I don't like it. Therefore, I don't have to watch it. But I decided that I'm not going to be a part of the problem anymore. If something is going on that is enlightening, if something is happening in a celebratory mood or whatever, baby coming and all that stuff, I'll go back to watching. But I'm not going to watch these two black women at each other's neck. It doesn't look good. It's not cute. And at this point, like I said, the story is redundant. It's just not very nice. The mother is imperfect, and Renee is imperfect. Okay, so she needs to get off this high horse with judgy. You say it already. Everybody hear what you say. Are you going to try to ask persons to hate your mom? Or is a mom going to ask persons to dislike you? No. Your family and the people are not learning that these two people, mother and daughter, this woman carried her in her womb for 9 months. And not because someone carry you mean that you're going to be loyal or you're going to have to be, dedicated to the person. But the point is, she carried you. It's not like a woman that gave birth to you and abandoned you like my mother. And I'm telling you, my mother gave birth to me. And because of that, I am not going to continue to say all these things and just, I'm not going to do that. I refuse to curse my mother. Let me tell you that much. My father has done things to hurt me. I refuse to. I have never been rude or disrespectful to any of my parents. But I could be, because there's a rule. There's a rule about that. So she's saying, oh, my child will never be like this and that and that. Your child will cuss you too. Because guess what? You sowed the seed. All right? So you made your point. It's time to now move on. Renee does come across as a type of person who I would be afraid to be close to, because I don't think she's had any relationship with anybody. Maybe that's because of trauma, where she didn't end up trying to expose the person. And maybe they go for her and it's her way of defending herself. But if truth be told, it's just not a good look. It just seemed like you can't befriend Renee, because if you fall out, your business is going to be all over social media. Maybe this is a ploy to earn income. This is a plot to get the people to come, because people learn how to do these things on social media. Individuals learn that the more toxic they are, the more likely they are to get huge followers. Therefore, the paychecks keep coming in. And if that's your thing, you do it. But when it comes to family, when it comes to mother and daughter situation, I'm not going to celebrate it. And I think the people on both sides need to tell them, okay, this is boring now. The whole story of the children being ill, it's not the mom's fault where the children are mentally ill, unless she had a hand, in being violent towards them and things like that, or cause them to fall into depression because of bad treatment. But if they're sent home and they're going down this path, and sometimes people don't realize that sometimes mental illness is something where it manifests itself in behaviors that ultimately cause them to be deported. And then it seems like it's because they were sent there, but it was already there. She does need help. I mean, the mom needs the help and the support to be with her son or to help her children. Renee needs help and support from people, because obviously, you can't get to be fighting with so many people, whether it be family or strangers or whatever, without having some psychological thing that needs to be addressed. I'm not afraid of Renee, so if she wants to cuss me, that's fine. I'm just speaking the truth. I'm just saying, Renee, you're being a bad mom. with the baby in your belly with all this drama and trauma. It's not good for the baby and it's not good for you. And I would think that someone who had such challenge to conceive, that you'd be walking on eggshell. I'm repeating myself. Renee, you're not being a good mother and a good steward of this great gift. And whether that is trauma in your body or your DNA or whatever, you need to get off it now and to start to surround yourself with positive energy, positive people, not people who are going to encourage you to come out here and continue drag your mom for views. It just doesn't look good. And Maureen, as a mom, it's difficult for her to stay quiet and to listen to all that without defending herself. Stay blessed, everyone.